Hi, fellow traders, what's happening? Hope you guys had a great week. I hope you are having a great weekend. You're getting some rest, you're charging those batteries, and you're ready to get rocking and rolling because earnings season is upon us. It's time to make some money. So we got to be ready mentally and physically. I want to wrap up real quick. Friday's trades, wrap up the week. But first, I want to share this thought with you because it's very, very important. It's never about what happens to you in the trade. It's about how you respond to it. It's not about whether you make money on a trade, whether you lose money on a trade, whether you made a mistake, or whether you nailed it. It's about how you respond going forward to adversity in the market, to windfalls in the market. And sometimes I think it's even more important how you respond after you've had a winning streak. A lot of people, after they've had their best week in trading, they turn around and had a worse week because all of a sudden they think they've got it. And they don't have to stick to their rules anymore. They don't have to do the things that they did to get them there because they feel like they're graduating, but that's not the case. As long as you're trading, you're going to have to do the things that you did to get you there. It's about being consistent. Do you grow? Yeah. Do you expand? Yes. But you never lose your core values. You never compromise your core values, what got you to where you are. Because that's what's going to support you when you fall, and you will fall. There's no doubt about it. But if you have no support system, if you have no foundation, you're just going to get washed away. So, think about this, and we're going to talk about this more as I go through the recap here. But just remember, it's never about what happens to you in that trade. It's about how you respond to what happened. That's going to be the key. And that's one of the things I try to focus on every day. I don't stream our platform live so you could watch me trade and laugh when I mess up or celebrate when I win, or for you to copy what I'm doing, copy the trades. Is to show you, how to respond when certain things happen. If I lose it, how do I gain it back and move forward? All of those things. That's just a snip of some of the things that you're going to get or that you should be getting. But there's definitely a lot more. All right, so last week we saw first 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we really didn't do much. And we started to make a move on Thursday. Friday, we almost hit this. I think we may be close enough. If you didn't see or you weren't here this morning when we did the market analysis for swing trading, you want to go back and watch that video. It should be posted on the swing trade page on the website. That video is open to the public. All you have to do is go to my website and click on it. You can watch it. It's my take on what I think is happening in the market. It's all based on technicals with a little bit of fundamental sprinkled in. I'm a technical swing trader and day trader. So, that'll explain a lot of what I'm looking for. But I don't use a lot of the analysis in day trading. It kind of gives me an idea of what might happen the next day. But all I care about if I'm day trading, what are the stocks doing that day? What daily or hourly channels are we looking at that particular day? And is the stock setting up? Is it in play for me? It has to have volume. It has to have a gap. That's all. That tells me the stock's in play for me and how I trade. So I don't get too deep into analysis on the day trading side. But when we're hitting key levels like this, you want to pay attention because this could spark a good market sell-off. And when that happens, when you're having a sell-off, you don't want to fight the market. Or you're having a big run and up in the market, you don't want to fight it. So when those instances happen, you want to pay attention. And I had that question asked this morning in the session. Do I focus on this analysis, as it relates to my day trading? And I really don't. Only when it hits key levels, then I'll pay attention to it and see how it relates to my stocks. But I like stocks that have their own catalyst that can move against the market on a normal day. So that's kind of where my focus is. And you can see Friday, we didn't make any huge moves, but it did kind of trade sideways for a long time. We did get into a channel, and it practically stayed there. We peaked ahead above it here a couple of times, but once it put in the bottom of a channel here, here was this really wasn't. It didn't really dip and put in a bottom here. It just kind of kept going up. So, but we kind of traded sideways in a channel, and that pretty much, shows itself in this candlestick formation. So it could mean that we're slowing down. We had that last hurrah. We're running into that resistance, and we're slowing down. But tomorrow will tell. You can see here's the earnings that we're looking at next week. Look at the earnings calendar. It's going to be stuffed here for the next several weeks. This is exactly what we're looking for. So it is time to make some money in the market now. So on Friday, first, and as you could tell, I shut it down early. So anytime you see this, I didn't have a really good morning. But, Facebook was the first one out of the gate. It started working. I got my first target, and then it bounced and took me out. Well, because I closed it out early, this candle here is not showing. And I didn't, unfortunately, I didn't make the snapshots before the market closed. Before the thing disappeared at midnight. So all I had was the early snapshots. But that's to show you that's when I shut it down. But that was the first trade on Facebook here. And here's the last at 10:03, which would have been the next candle that printed. That's when I got out of it. So we did get a decent hit there, base hit. So we jumped on DraftKings. DraftKings was selling off. I thought we rejected, could not break the 5-minute opening range high. We started coming down. I felt we were going to retrace the gap, which it did. If you look at the chart for, let's see if I got my FinViz chart up still. Yeah, I still got it up. DKNG. So I thought that it would kind of recover at least half of this gap, and that's exactly what it did. Maybe a little bit more than half. But I chopped myself out. Okay, I shouldn't have, but I chopped myself out. I don't think I gave this enough room. You can see it was less than 50 cents. I really didn't give it much room. And that was my downfall. So I made a mistake on this one, not giving the trade enough room. But, at this point, I was a little frustrated with, trying to get myself out of this mess. So I looked at SQ. Again, I'm not chasing bad moves. This was a solid channel break here. Okay, here was a 5-minute opening range low. Here's the low that it put in. We bounced. This is the low of the channel. When we broke the channel, that was an entry. Yeah, my entry was a little off. And I probably would have been able to take profit through 255 if I got in at 256. So yeah, my entry was a little bit late, but it was still within the window because we had 252, I think, was the next level we were looking at. It had plenty of room to go. And it should have absorbed, a 50 cent late move. But it didn't. It bounced. It ripped back up. Stopped me out at max loss. And I just, at that point, I was like, look, the market's just not working with me. And I'm not working with the market. So we shut it down. And 10:08, we shut it down right after 10 o'clock and said, let's see what the afternoon brings. And it didn't really bring much. Everything pretty much traded inside of its channel. So it was just in a range. If I was a scalper, I could have probably made it back. But that's not what I do. And I could have easily doubled my loss or even tripled my loss trying to get it back. So here was the base hit on Facebook. And that's the max loss. Now, I went in with 300 shares, a little bit aggressive, and gave it $1.50. I should have been at 200 shares, giving it $1.50. That would have put me at around a $300 loss. But, that extra 50 cents added $150 to the loss total. On DraftKings, you can see that was just too tight. So whatever the case was, things were not where they needed to be. And there's a reason, a big reason why I stopped when I stopped. And, this is it. It's about making money. And if you're having a bad day or you're making trading mistakes, stop, shut it down. There's no reason for you to give your whole week. I could have given my whole week up on Friday. Look at what I did at the end of the week last week. I was wanting to go out on top because I was taking the rest of the week off. And look where I ended up. I did manage it. This could have been worse. This could have been pretty much like this, which would have dug deeper into my profits. But look at where we ended up for the week. Okay, this is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. These slow times, things aren't going to work out. Things are going to, like SQ was a good setup and it didn't work. And I took my biggest loss on it. But did it kill my week? No. This is still an acceptable week for trading in a smaller account. Risking what we're risking. This is an acceptable week. And there's nothing wrong when you have the market not being where you would want it to be, where it doesn't have the big earnings potential, and you come out on top. That's the message I'm trying to get through to you. That you don't have to trade all day, every day. You have a process, you stick to it. If your trades do not present themselves, you sit and wait. Sometimes I've waited to the end of the day and it blew up. All right, so my focus is not so much week to week. My focus is on my equity curve. That's what my focus is on. And it's growing. I only have one down week, which is right here. 1 week when, I had a dip. And the rest of the weeks, it's just been going up. Some gradually, some pretty nice hits. But look, am I going to get a pullback at some point? Yeah. At some point, one day, I'm going to get it. But my focus this year, and I said it at the beginning of the year, my focus is on not forcing trades and being more in tune with when the market is not in tune with me, or I'm not in tune with the market, and when I need to shut it down. And it's working. It's working. So this is the equity curve I focus on. Now, what a lot of mistakes people make is they focus on their week to week. And they try to make this look like this. And it's impossible, because the day-to-day volatility is going to chop you up. Some days you're going to have the opportunity to make $1,000. Some days you won't have the opportunity to make anything, or you may be red. And some weeks you're going to make, $1,500. And some weeks you may only make $5, because the market was not there. From day to day, it's going to be, just going to move around. And so if you get too focused on this is going to suffer. I know it may not make sense, but you try it. A lot of guys that try to focus on hitting a daily goal every day, if you're not mentally prepared, it's going to cost you your account. You have to be mentally solid to where if you're within $50 of your goal, your weekly goal on Friday, that you're not going to go trying to force a trade saying, I can easily make $50. And you go out and you lose 100. Now you're 150 down. And you keep pulling the trigger, thinking that, hey, I'm good enough to make $150. And next thing you know, you're $300 from your goal. And you keep digging a hole for yourself. So mentally, you have to be stronger if you're focusing on daily goals. That's why I don't focus on daily goals. I don't focus on weekly goals. I don't focus on monthly goals. All I'm focused on is my equity curve going up. Because if it's going up, I'm putting money in the bank every day, every week. And that's what we got to focus on. That's number one. Not hitting a big trade, not hitting a home run. That's not it. If you want to survive in this business, you have to have the right focus. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up. I will catch you guys tomorrow. We'll get started and, see if we can take advantage of some of these earnings next week. So be safe, and I'll see you in the morning.